On this week's In My Mug, I think we should go to Costa Rica, but I think we should also have a little bit of a go back in time and see Roland, because where have his daft facts gone? So yes, in the spirit of mixing things up, we are going to have a daft fact this week, but not from a usual source. And we're also going to be told a little bit about the farm, but not also from a usual source. But this coffee is a relationship that I've had now for the last, must be 9 years. We buy La Cumbre, but we actually buy it for our sister company, 3FE, that we're very close partners and friends with. And Carmela is an opportunity for us to buy more coffee from Alan, but also have that on offer for has been to share and enjoy as well. So very, very excited to be sharing this coffee with you this week. I'm also thinking that I'm going to go and do a tasting somewhere, but I still don't know where as I'm recording this. So we're going to be popping back after the daft fact and the virtual Steve, and then we'll be back with the tasting, hopefully somewhere a little interesting. Thanks, Steve. So the Don Joel micro mill is owned by Alan Oviedo Rodriguez and his family. It's right on the border between Central Valley and Western Valley in Costa Rica. And Alan has been producing coffee there for 18 years. Growing up in a coffee family, Alan learned all of his producing methods from his father, Don Joel, who the mill is named after. But he's also had some difficulties, and he saw his father kind of not really make the returns from coffee that he really deserved from all of his inputs, and he wanted to change that. When his father passed away, the farms were split up between the family, which is quite normal and traditional way that would happen. And he decided that he wanted to have a micro mill. Instead of delivering coffee cherry to the cooperative, as his father had always done, that he was going to kind of make a brand and a name for the farm. He also took the opportunity to replant a lot of the farm, planting familiar varietals of Caturra, Cataí, Villa Sarchi. And as he grew in experience and knowledge, then he also started to introduce things like Geisha and Kenyas. With a willingness to try new things and like his ability to adapt and learn quickly, Alan built up a fantastic reputation in the area for some stunning coffees, this being one of them. A few years ago, from that success, Alan has been able to invest into buying another piece of land, and he bought the farm Carmela, which is alongside La Cumbre, which is where I originally met Alan and have bought his coffee for many years. And despite lots of difficult years in high temperatures, unseasonal rain, the volcano kind of erupting quite a lot, Alan has managed to make a great success of Carmela, and the coffee's coming from there. The farm itself is 3 hectares, which is not super big, and is mostly planted with this varietal, Villa Sarchi, but there is a little bit of Typica too. It's around about 1,600 metres above sea level, and around about a 5-minute drive from La Cumbre, so very, very close to the mill and the farm La Cumbre. Even with this very small change, Alan has noticed a lot of changes in the weather and the characteristics of the soil. Even this 5 minutes makes a really, really big difference. Like many producers in Costa Rica, Alan works with organic principles, even though he's not certified. He doesn't use sprays unless he has to. He makes his own fertilizer using microorganisms from the farm, and really using everything that's around him. It's from Costa Rica. It's from the Western Valley. The nearest city or town is San Luis de Gracia. The farm is called Finca Carmela. The micro mill is called Don Joel. It's produced by Alan Oviedo Rodriguez and his family, and it is a red honey Villa Sarchi varietal. So, I've told you this, but Roland has also been there. So why don't we get Roland on now to talk about the farm?
As Steve said, this is Alan's second farm, and it's mostly planted with Villa Sarchi. It's got a little bit of Typica there, but mostly Villa Sarchi because he said it's a really good, reliable producing plant for him to grow. 3 years now he's had the land. which he's planted out and been growing the plants on. And now this is the first lot of production that we've had from it. And this has been a really important year for Alan because he's just upgraded his micro mill, replaced the pulper, which was getting a bit old and knackered, with a new one, and put a bit more land on, expanding, doing really well. But he's also had a really difficult year because there's only 7 kilometres away from the Paus volcano, which has been spewing out a lot of ash this year. So a lot of the plants had ash on when I was there, and he was waiting for the rain to come to clean them off. So it's difficult for him because he's invested a lot in the farm, but he's also expecting next year production might be down a little bit. But the good news is for us is this year's production is tasting fantastic.
Out. Get out. Go on. Because now it's time for Steve's Daft Fact of the Week. In a strange, kind of very weird way, I actually miss Roland. It would be very nice to hear his daft facts, but I'm going to stand in for him this week as he stood in for my job. So, 99% of all the electricity used in Costa Rica comes from renewable sources. We can learn a lot from Costa Rica. So I said I would bring you somewhere interesting. I brought you to Uppsala Cathedral. Uppsala is around about 40 kilometres north of Stockholm. It's a big university town and has this beautiful cathedral that I'm showing you right now. Very pretty place, and I really enjoy coming to this city. It is slightly different pace to Stockholm, slightly smaller as well. Very cute, very nice, beautiful park that we've been to before. But let's get into the coffee. So, like a lot of these coffees, starts off with a lot of milk chocolate. It's very kind of obvious, that kind of creamy milk chocolateness. Where this differs from everything else is you get a real burst of lime, like fresh lime juice acidity, really kind of quite sharp and just really unique. It's very, very different. Also on top of that is you get like a little bit of a menthol kind of mintiness to it. It kind of gives you a little bit of heat and a little bit of, something different. I love Alan's coffee. I think I love it because of his processing. I think I love it because of him, but I think I love it more because it's tasty. It's just such complex and interesting and consistently good, which is fantastic to find. Listen, thank you very much for joining me as always, and I will try and keep, for as long as I'm here and the UK won't let me back in, I will keep trying to find these unusual spots. But until then, do remember, life is too short for bad coffee.